Welcome to another video. Another vertical live stream video. Just waiting to see if I get any watchers. None yet, but I can always recap if I get any. Right, so I'm walking along by the side of a canal, and we've had a lot of rain here in England over the last few days. So there's all sorts of there've been floods and all sorts of things around here. So that noise you can hear over there, I think that's just rainwater running off the fields into the canal. Aha. I've got a watcher. Right, I was just saying, I hadn't got any watchers until you turned up, whoever you are. I'm walking by the side of a canal, and there's been a lot of rain over the last few days, and we've had floods and all sorts of things. So, but hopefully I can walk along the towpath of this canal. I'll see how far I get before it becomes too muddy. I think there are a couple of boats down here. It's quite slippery underfoot, so if I fall into the canal, please alert the authorities. Yeah, it's been horrendous weather the last few days in England. We've had about a month's rain in a day, and but today, Tuesday the 24th of September 2024. It hasn't rained today, luckily, or not where I am. So I thought, well, I didn't even go out yesterday. I mean, it was just too wet. So as I say, I'm just walking along the side of this canal. See who comes along in my live stream. I've got 2 watchers, 2 likes by the look of it. Oh, it's Billy Sky Blue. Hello. Yay. Yeah, so one of my watchers is Billy Sky Blue because he's just commented. Thank you for being here. Has it been wet where you are? Because it's been absolutely horrendous around here. The floods and all sorts of things. But luckily not. I'm on a bit of a raise, higher ground, so floods haven't affected me, but they would have if I wanted to drive anywhere. Oh, 6 watchers. Right, so we're going just down the side of this canal. Not for any reason really, just to just for a bit of a walk and see what I can pick up on the live stream. I've got 3 watchers. Very muddy underfoot. 4 watchers now. Billy Blue Sky says, yes, it's been wet where I am in West Yorkshire. Yeah, it's been, I'm in Leicestershire and been very wet here. Right, here's a couple of boats coming up. Smoke coming out of the chimney of one of them. Declan, greetings from Ireland. Oh, yeah, greetings to you too. Thank you for watching. I bet it's been wet in Ireland, hasn't it? Oh, thank you, Billy Sky Blue. So you're 2 of my watchers. Oh, Declan says, ooh, yes, which I presume it means you've had a lot of water as well. Right, so we're coming around this bend here. There are a couple of boats here. This one, they're having a fire to keep warm, I think. Oh, another watcher. Luna Catherialan. Hello. Hi. Yes, hello to you too. Thank you for watching. Oh, 9 watchers. Capca Poisium says, what's your favourite dark joke? Dark joke. Not sure what a dark joke is. Dark humour. I know one thing, talking about the dark. You know, well, you know vampires, they can't come out in the daylight, can they? Otherwise the sunlight kills them. But where do they think the light from the moon comes from? It's a reflection from the sun, isn't it? This is the Grand Union Canal, Declan. I'm not sure where it goes to and from really. It goes I think it might go towards London, if you're going this way, and but there's a branch off that will take you into Market Harborough, so it branches at Foxton Locks, and you can go to Market Harborough, or you can go up the locks, which is the biggest flight of locks in England. You can go up the locks and carry on towards London. The other way, well, I know it goes through Leicester. I don't know where it goes after that. Yeah, so I just thought it'd be a nice walk along the canal. Billy Sky Blue says the joke you emailed me from Jethro is a good joke. I can't remember what that was. Oh, was that something about the about being able to tell what an animal skin was and what bullet shot it with blindfolded? Yeah, it's not one I put on my channel, but I know it's one you might put on yours. Oh, Keeper says, I asked for a dark joke, not a fact about vampires. Right. What wouldn't a vampire order in a restaurant? A steak. The trees are a bit low here, or their hedges are a bit low here, coupled with a slippery towpath. Ooh. What else? Another dark joke. What's a dark joke? Oh, Frankenstein. Oh, I might have ruined the ending here. We all know Einstein was a brilliant man, but you should see his brother Frank. He's a monster. I didn't expect to be telling jokes. Yeah, I'm keeping up on this path here rather than the one near to the canal, because that canal, the side bit to me, put your foot on that, it sometimes collapses and you end up in the canal. Wow, this is a bit it's a bit hairy. I should have come on a better day. I'm going to end up in the canal here if I don't watch it. Let's see if we can go back. It's too slippery. It's just too slippery for me. I've got my new walking boots on, so at least I've got some tread on the sole. You see the water's all brown, and that's because of all the rain. All this flood water's washed in off the fields, although to be quite honest, the fields are mainly grass round here, rather than if there'd have been ploughed fields, all the soil that would have gone in the canal, at least the grass holds the fields together. Is the picture all right? Because I've no idea whether I'm getting a good signal strength down here on the canal. Just checking in my pocket, make sure I've not lost my phone, and then of course it's in my left hand, isn't it? Oh, thanks, Billy. Declan and Billy Sky Blue say yes, picture is okay, pic clear. Thank you. Because you don't know when you do one of these live streams if you're getting a weak signal. It doesn't really tell you unless it suddenly says loading retry or something. You just think you're getting a good picture, and then when you play it back, you find it's all pixelated and rubbish. Plus the fact I'm walking along and shaking the phone. Yeah, so it's a nice, quiet. You can hear the birds. Can't hear much engine noise, or from cars or planes. Just hear the birds, and in actual fact the canal's quite still. It's not really flowing much. I thought it would be, mind you, I think it flows when they open a lock somewhere. When a boat goes through and they have to open a lock, it makes the water flow. So these canals in England, they're not very wide, which is why they have to have these boats called narrow boats. You couldn't get a riverboat down here unless it was something like a cabin cruiser or something like that, because they wouldn't be able to pass each other. So this is a turning point here. So you come down here with your boat and you want to go back the other way. This is a big turning point where you can do a 3-point turn. I'll go back where these boats are again. These boats, they have like their little gardens on the front. Like that. What are they? I don't know. I could Google lens them if I wasn't doing a live stream. All this garden on the top as well. Got a bit of herbs up there. It seems to have a name on it, this boat. This one doesn't seem to have a name either. Normally they've got the names painted down the side. Declan says looks nice, would love to stay in one for a weekend. Yeah, you probably wouldn't get far in a weekend. You know, it's they don't go very fast. So you if you spent the first day travelling, you spend the second day travelling back again. But yeah, they are very nice. They are very nice. I've been in a fairly new one, and it's it's like a little house inside. Obviously, got mains voltage and 12-volt voltage, and solar panels and big batteries, and you could you can just plug your vacuum cleaner in 240 volts or 230 volts, whatever, run off the inverter. But I suppose their main source of fuel is either wood or gas for cooking and heating, and red diesel for the engine. I mean, when you think that up until the 60s, up until the 1960s, the canals were a main sort of transport system, because the idea is that the water takes away the friction, so you don't need a very big engine. Or prior to that, one horse could pull a fully laden boat, horse on the towpath, which is why it's called the towpath, because the horse would be towing the boat. Yeah, Keith. Hello, Keith. It's got 6 watchers at the moment. I don't know whether my live streams are particularly interesting, but so I'm basically going back the way I came. Ooh. I don't know quite how these towpaths used to work. I imagine they must have been bigger, because I don't think you get a horse along here, to be quite honest. Not these days. But that was the idea of the canals before the railways, just to overcome friction by having it on a boat and pulling it with a horse. Ooh. Echoes. So if I carry on down here, there's a big tunnel. Obviously these days boats have engines, so they just drive through the tunnel. But in the olden days, they used to have to unhitch the horse, take the horse over the top, and they used to lie on their backs on the boat, on the narrow boat, put their feet against the wall and push the boat through like that. There's never a lot of current on the canal. I mean, you can sort of see it's just it's not really moving. There's that water you can hear is more water running off the fields due to the rain. But yeah, there's it's fairly still until they start opening locks and things. And even then, Foxton Locks has got these big retaining lakes, so that when a boat goes up or down the lock, they don't lose a lot of water. Because back in the day, the river people who owned the rivers didn't like the people with the canals taking all their water. So yeah, Keith says, what side of the canal do they go on? Is it like cars on the wrong side? Yeah, it's the wrong side for me. It's the boats go on the right hand side. Cars drive on the left and boats go on the right. Declan says, now you know why people do watch your channel. A walk and talk and we get to learn something. My head's full of useless information. Right then, so coming up to the canal, coming up to the tunnel. So this, that's a sign for the tunnel. Extinguish all naked lights except pilot lights. Switch on your headlight. Remain inside the boat profile. Do not use cooking appliances. Keep well behind the boat in front. And in an emergency, turn off your engine. Right, there you go. Right, so this tunnel goes quite a long way under a road. See if I can see it. See if we can see this tunnel. Now that's too much of a grassy hill for me to get down in this slippery weather. I'll slip over. See if there's some steps down here. As they say in England, I'll fall on my arse if I try to go down there. I could have sworn there were some steps down here. Oh, where are the steps gone? Oh, there they are. There are the steps. Know what's happened here? Somebody's knocked the fence down. Let's see how slippery these are. Right, okay, we're down by the tunnel. This is the tunnel. Can't remember how long it's been here, but it's a long while. Dare I lean my phone out over the water? I don't want to drop it. I can't see to the end. Thought I might see the light at the end of the tunnel, but obviously not. So that's the tunnel. So We're back up these steps again. Don't make it easy. It's actually easier going up than it is going down. Right, so then that tunnel goes under this high bit of land here, and then there's a road that comes out on the, what's that noise? Helicopter. Go away with your noise. Keith said I live by the Morris Canal in New Jersey, but most of it's been filled up and put through pipes. Keith says watch out for talking frogs. That was yeah, that was one of my jokes, wasn't it? Declan just popped in to say hi. I have subscribed. Look forward to your next walk. Best of luck. Yeah, the talking frog joke Keith just referred to was I bumped into a talking frog, and he said, and she said rather, if you kiss me, I'll turn into a beautiful princess. And I said, no thanks. At my age, I'd rather have a talking frog. Yeah. It's true. I wouldn't. At my age, I wouldn't know what to do with a beautiful princess. But. Yeah, got some sheep over here. Got some lots of straw over there. Sheep. There's a cell tower over there, which is probably why I've got a good signal. Where is it? Just there. That's a telephone cell tower. What's on the opposite side? Oh, that looks like a potential manure heap. Reminds me of a old joke. It's probably a Blackpool postcard joke. They say how old it is. Two posh women having a cup of tea together, and one of the husbands comes in and says, "I've moved that pile of manure." And one posh lady says to the other one, "Can't you get him to say fertilizer instead of manure?" And she said, "It's taken me 20 years to get him to say manure." Yeah, so I grew up in the 1950s and 60s. So I'm getting old these days. Things are creaking. Things are not working. Plenty of hospital appointments. But you have to do what you have to do, don't you? And if you have to come for a walk along the canal and go live, well, so be it. So we're just going up this You can see it's quite a long way. This tunnel is exceedingly long. I mean, how on earth they used to build these things back in the day before they had mechanisation. I can only assume it was because basically labour was cheap. You know, it was you're not gonna, you know, you wouldn't be having to pay £60 an hour for somebody. They'd be glad to come and do the job for not a lot of money, I suppose. And I mean the the designers and the builders, I mean, so much skill really. Keith says, from my training, posh on a boat stands for port out and starboard home. So I guess you're always facing the coast. Not sure how it works. Yeah, Keith, it's sort of right. You always, I think it means you're always facing the sun. Was for early cruise passengers. Well, not cruise, you know, people going from England to America and back on these big liners. So you'd be nice and warm, you'd always be in the sun. I think that's what it was. Yeah, but yeah, port side out, starboard home. Port out, starboard home. Posh is correct. I made one of my joke videos about how they used to build things in the olden days. You know, the pyramids and Stonehenge and things like that, because they didn't have cranes, they didn't have diggers, they didn't have JCBs, they didn't have concrete mixers. It was all done by men. But of course you've got to realise that things were lighter in those days, until Sir Isaac Newton invented gravity. Right, Keith says the Spice Girls are coming back is Old Spice. So it is. Are they coming back? Yeah, I mean, all the musicians the music I grew up listening to, I mean, they're nearly all dead, apart from people who are really old, like Mick Jagger and Paul McCartney. But it was a good time to grow up music-wise, because the late 50s and then the 60s and all the way through to the 80s was some really good music. I mean, I don't want to get controversial here, but before we started getting rap music and computerized music and whatever, you know, the Beatles, Stones, right up to AC/DC and people like that, Queen. And there was some nice gentle music like the Carpenters. I mean, you can't beat Karen Carpenter's voice, can you? When they play the music, Keith says, when they play music you grew up to in the elevator, you're too old. Yeah. Yeah, one of the definitions of being old is when you're young. When you're young, if you fall over, everybody laughs. And when you're old, if you fall over, they call an ambulance. But, oh good grief, this field looks like it might, don't know whether you can see this through the hedge, but that's all water. I think that field isn't normally like that, it's normally dry. So there's a lot of surface water in that field. So we're still going along the top of the tunnel. We're now coming to a road. And a gate with a stile. Now, me being an old git, I'm not going over the stile, I'm going to open the gate. Yay, not a lot of people realise this gate opens. I mean, you should do, it's a gate, you know, for goodness sake, but... Yeah. I'll probably be stuck here for half an hour trying to get across the road. Make a dash for it, yay! Fast as I can go, yay! Right, so we're still on top of the tunnel, or nearly on top of it. There's some water in this field as well, over there. Yeah, it's been a real lousy 3 days of weather, torrential rain most of the time, and it's all been flooded. And luckily I live on a hill, so I didn't get flooded, but I haven't tried going anywhere, to be honest, in the car, because I'm watching the Facebook groups and they're all going, oh, you know, can we get home, and is this road flooded, is that road flooded, and then moaning about people driving too fast and splashing all the people on the pavement. Keith says, oh yeah, no, Billy Sky Blue says, music taste is all over the place. You could say, since I like all sorts of music. Well, I do mainly. I just can't stand somebody talking through the music, especially if it's a tune I know, you know, if it's like an old tune that I know, you know, and it starts up and then all of a sudden somebody's going, that drives me nuts. Keith said, I hit a gate on the farm my family owned and nobody bothered to tell me it was electrified. I found out quickly. Billy Sky Blue says, nice of your family not to tell me, Keith. Yeah, so we've crossed the road and we still haven't come to the end of this tunnel yet. And I don't know how long you want me to go on with this live stream, because it's probably a bit boring now, but I thought I'd better come out for a walk. There's water all in the fields, both sides. There's all this mud. I think the end of the tunnel's over there. Big lake in the middle of this ploughed field. That's not supposed to be there. It's most definitely not supposed to be there. This is, and you can see the water in that field. God knows what it's done to his crop, and this field over this side as well. You'd think it'd all drain into the canal, wouldn't you? You'd think they'd have drainage pipes going into the canal. Then again, the tunnel's just here, so I suppose they'd have to drill into the top of the tunnel. Right, so we're still going along the tunnel. And there it is, where that fence is. That's where the tunnel comes out, and you're back in, and the boats are back in daylight. That's a bit of a hill. I don't know whether I dare go down this or not. Oh, let's have a look. Yeah, here we are. So this is where the tunnel comes out. Down there. Oh dear, that looks like a dead sheep over there. He'd probably fallen in the canal and couldn't get out. It's definitely dead because it's got its nose under the water. There's no point in me going down and trying to rescue it. What's up here? I don't know what's up here. Oh, I suppose this goes up into that ploughed field if I went up there. But I don't think I'm going to. So yeah, so we've gone the whole length of that tunnel. And on that bombshell, I think I might shut this live stream down. Oh, wait a minute. Arolando. Got another watcher, Arolando, commenting beautiful. And Keith says, hello, Arolando. What do you call a guy who flaps his wings and thinks he can fly? Plain crazy. Yeah. Yeah, so hello, Arolando, if it's Arolindo perhaps it is, I don't know. Yeah, we're just I'm just walking along in the countryside by a canal, except I've come over the top of this really long tunnel, so it'll take me quite some time to get back. Anyway, thank you for watching. If it's anything that you're interested in and you didn't see the beginning, once I shut this video down, it almost certainly will be available on my live tab. It might end up being processed for a couple of days. That's what I've noticed. YouTube ends up processing it for a couple of days before you can go in and edit it, these live streams. But anyway, so as I was saying about vertical live streams, I'm not on this. I was talking to Corey's comedy channel the other day about it. Vertical live streams and normal live streams are different. not just because one's in portrait mode and one's in landscape mode, and one you probably watch on a phone and one you watch on a computer. Not just because of that, but because YouTube likes vertical live streams and it puts them out on the shorts feed as opposed to the normal feed. So therefore you pick up new watchers who you'd never get on stream. Yeah, where was it? Yeah, this is the well, when I get back to it, because I'm just on top of the tunnel at the moment, but it's supposed to be the Grand Union Canal, but I don't think you came in until after I'd gone over the tunnel, and I've got to go back over the tunnel before I come back to the water. But yeah, the tunnel is underneath me, and you can get one boat through. Well, you can get several boats through if they're all going the same way. But if you and they have to put their headlights on so that a boat that wants to go through can see there's something coming and stop and wait. You couldn't get two boats going opposite directions through, because they wouldn't be able to get by each other. Yeah. Keith says Danny Staten would probably want you to find the Loch Ness Monster. Yeah, well, the Loch Ness Monster's in Scotland, about 400 miles away, so I'm not likely to see him. I mean, there must be a reason why, with all those locks, there's only rumours about a monster in one of them, the Loch Ness Monster. I mean, there are plenty of other locks like Loch Lomond and I can't think of the others at the moment. Got a long wait to get across the road, I'm afraid. Good grief. I've got to find a gap and run for it. There's no gap. If there's not one coming one way, it's coming the other. Ah, right. Go for it. Yay. Thought I was going to be there all evening. Right, it's going through this gate. Certainly relaxing down by the canal as opposed to standing by a road. Keith says the only way to get across that road is to be born on the other side. Yeah. To be on the wrong side of the tracks or the wrong side of the road. So this is a nice little spinney here of trees. If I was a bit younger and it wasn't so slippery, I might wander in there, but I'm not going to. Looking to get back to the end of this tunnel. Lobo Gris, hello. Yes, Lobo, it's not supposed to be just a path. It's supposed to be by the side of a canal, but I'm walking over the top of the tunnel at the moment. It's a very long tunnel, and when I come to the end of the tunnel there'll be a canal. Lobo says, how are you today, Ron? Yeah, I'm all right. Thank you. How are you? Yeah, I've just found out. The other day that I'm diabetic. So I've got to go and see the diabetic nurse on Thursday. See what she says. I mean, I haven't got any symptoms, you know, but I was pre-diabetic, trying to control it with diet, but now my HbA1c level has gone up to 8.6, which is full-blown type 2, which is annoying. I could do without that on top of everything else, but yeah, you know, what can you do? Keith says, I've been diabetic for 20 years. When they test you for your blood sugar, go out and have a milkshake and enjoy it. Yeah. The problem is with the HbA1c level, it's it's a sort of like a measure of the amount of sugar in your hemoglobin, isn't it, or something? And to change that, you'd have to change your lifestyle drastically for at least 3 months, wouldn't you, before you even have any effect on it. So it wouldn't matter if I had a load of sugar before or after. It'd probably still be the same reading. I mean, it was about 6 point something last year, but now it's 8.6%. So I suppose I'll, yeah. Keith says everybody's diabetic. The more people they get to be diabetic, the more pills they sell. Well, that's true, yeah. I can imagine going on metformin or something, and then apparently there's some not very nice side effects from that as well. Every pill has an unwanted side effect. Oh, it's got some sunshine out. Good grief. That's sunny. The sun's come out. Well, Must be a break in the cloud somewhere. The sun's out. Would you believe it? Would you believe it? The sun's out. Look at that. Sun behind me. Wow. Just to prove I'm here. Wow. Didn't expect the sun to come out. It's been such miserable weather over the last few days. We've had about a month's rain in a day. One place had half a month's rain in an hour. And of course there's all sorts of flash floods, and of course they've been doing a lot of building housing estates around here, and well, not down here by the canal, but and of course the more concrete and tarmac they put down, the more the water has nowhere to go. So it goes and floods buildings that have never been flooded before. Roads have never been flooded before, and some of the flood water actually comes up through the drains. You can see it coming up through the drains, you know. So it's probably coming off these housing estates and into the rainwater system, and then going down a bit onto lower land and coming up through the drains and flooding places that have never been flooded. Drink more water, Keith says. Lobo Gris says, like your sweater. Thank you. Yeah, problem is with drinking water, fish poo in it, don't they? That's the clean version. That's the clean version. Music and fun if you're there. Now this looks like a badger hole or something. You won't want to come down here in the dark and put your foot in one of them. Right, we're nearly at the end of the tunnel. I think some of you are hanging on just to make sure I don't fall over, aren't you? Thank you. Yeah, so so there's the wall of the tunnel. I don't know if I can, without going down those slippery steps again. I don't know if I can see the. Yeah, there's the tunnel where the boats go in and out, and come out where I was down there. So there's the canal, very brown because the very brown because of the all the runoff water from the field. You can see water just there off the fields through pipes. Keith says, I put a reverse osmosis system in my kitchen sink. I can drink more water than a fish. Yeah, well, that's I need to stop drinking Diet Coke and you know those sachets of cappuccino with a artificial sweetener. I think they're probably one of the things that has pushed my sugar up, you know. Lobo Gris says, love the scenery. Yeah, well, thank you. This is England. This is Leicestershire. We've still got some nice scenery at the moment, but the government's wanting to build houses like mad. They'll be building everywhere, you know, but But there's lots of people that are that need a house, but nearly all the new builds are like you know, sort of executive houses, you know, 3, 4, 5 bedroomed houses that the people who actually just need a house to live in can't afford. But I suppose people from the smaller houses might move into the bigger houses, and then that releases the smaller houses. I don't know how it works, but we seem to have a housing crisis. Lobo Gris says I've got a great filtration system here as well since I stopped drinking my liver laughs at water impurities. Yeah, Keith says I drink a lot of zero Dr. Pepper, but nobody ever sat on their deathbed and said they had one less cappuccino. That's true. That's true. I mean, you've got to die of something, haven't you? You know. But I don't want some of the nasty things that comes with diabetes, like it affects your eyes and it affects your feet, doesn't it? You know, people have their feet amputated because but I mean, I had a check the other week, and this is like the follow-up. The nurse says you've got really good pulse into your feet, but then she said, can you feel this needle? Starts poking a needle all over my feet. And to be honest, I only felt about half of it. I only felt about, you know, towards my toes, and that I couldn't really feel it. So, but then again, that might be because I had a back operation a few years back. You know, I mean, that couldn't have done me much good, you know. But well, it did. I mean, it did do me a lot of good because I was in a lot of pain, and it got rid of it. But I mean, it probably the what am I trying to say? The year I had with all the pains down my legs from my back, you know, from something pressing on my nerves until I had the operation, that wouldn't have done nerves much good, I don't suppose. Okay, right. So back under this bridge. Somebody's picked up the poo and then left it behind in a plastic bag. I mean, that's actually worse than leaving the dog shit, I think, because it's now in a bag that won't decompose, isn't it? Which is not good. So there's some water coming into off the fields over there. Just there. So this canal, I mean, it's always a little bit brown, but it's never quite as bad as this. Anyway, I think I've kept you lovely people on too long. So I'm going to shut down. So thank you very much for watching. So I'll perhaps see you some other time. I've still got 4 watchers, so I'm guessing it's Keith and Lobo Gris and Billy Sky, maybe Anne Belinda. Right, okay. Thank you very much for watching. Cheers. Bye.